So I'm glad to be here today and to have this opportunity to share my short story about my life, how I have been working with Quakers. So I have traveled from Burundi. I'm from Burundi. Burundi is in Central Africa. It is a country, a very small country. In the north we have Rwanda, and the south and east we have Tanzania, and in the west we have the Democratic Republic of Congo. And to be here today, it is under the support of Friends Peace Teams here in the US. I have been here since September 17. I have been traveling in different parts of US, and I'm very thankful because I have met people who have been very supportive since my arrival here. Since I arrived on September 17th, I have met only good people who have been very supportive and loving. That is why I'm very glad today, even to be in this place. So, as they have introduced me, my name is Ntahuba Parfaite. I'm married, and I have 6 children, and I am a pastor from the Evangelical Friends Church of Burundi. Evangelical Friends Church of Burundi is the one branch of Quakers. For us, we are evangelical. And about my background, I can maybe start by a short question, one question. I think that all of us have mothers. Were you born? Do you have, all of you, do you have mothers? Were you born from a mother? Do you have? Yes. That's good. And I was also born from a mother, not from a father. But you know, in order to have a kid, you must have a mother and a father. And in our culture, mothers have a great role to raise the children, especially that most mothers are homestay mothers. It means that we spend, as children, we spend more time with mothers because fathers are always going around seeking some money for the family to survive. It means because we spend more time with our mothers, we have close relationships with our mothers. I don't know if it is the same case here in the US, but this is our culture. So, can you imagine growing in a family where the mother is mistreated? Can you imagine growing in a family where there is violence? Can you imagine growing in a family where the mother is often beaten by your father for the simple reason that the mother is not bringing some financial income at the end of the month? Can you imagine growing in a family where the mother is working hard in fields to grow food, to grow rice, to grow banana, to grow cassava, so that the family can have something to eat? But her work is not appreciated because she's not bringing some financial income. This is the kind of family where I grew up. My mother was abused, often beaten, and as a child to grow in such kind of family, I was traumatized. Because I had a close relationship with my mother, and seeing her being beaten most of the time has touched my heart. This makes me that since my childhood, I was against gender-based violence. Because I thought that maybe my mother was mistreated or being abused because she was not able to do her studies, to to be graduated and have maybe a diploma so that she can have access to a job. And since my childhood, education was a priority. That is why I was able to do my studies until I got my master's degree in theological studies. And I'm very thankful today. And I'm one of the 3 women pastors from the Evangelical Friends Church of Burundi. And one main reason which pushed me to become a woman pastor was to break the gender barrier, because in Burundi, in Evangelical Friends Church, we have more than 100 men who are pastors. But today we are still 3 women who are pastors. And I'm thankful to be a woman pastor because in my pastoral work, I feel more attracted, I feel more energy when I'm doing premarital counseling. Premarital counseling, when I am preparing young people who want to get married, because I don't want more children to grow in violent families. I don't want more children to be traumatized because the father and the mother are always fighting. That is why I feel more attracted to doing premarital counseling. And in my local church today, we have 2,500 church members. We are 3 pastors, 2 men and 1 woman. And fortunately, I am the senior pastor in that local church. And I'm thankful for the work I'm doing as a woman pastor. So, how I joined the Quaker family. I grew up in a Catholic family. And in 1993, when the first president in Burundi, who was elected democratically, was killed after only 3 months, there was a civil war. People started to kill each other. In Burundi, we have 2 main ethnic groups. We have Hutus and Tutsis. And when the president was killed, Tutsis and Hutus started to kill each other. Many people died, including my father. Our house was burnt, and it was a hard time for our family. That is why we were obliged to run from home, to move away. We were internally displaced people, and we were 8 children with our mother. And when we were looking for some families to host us, many people or many families refused to welcome us because they were saying, you are a big family, we don't have enough space for you. And when we had nowhere to go, fortunately we met a Quaker family. The Quaker family also was a big family because they were 6 children and the wife and the husband. But they welcomed us in their home. And this has touched my heart. And it was since that time in 1994 when I joined the Quaker family. The Quaker family was very supportive, loving, and caring. The husband and the wife were loving each other. They were supporting each other. And then I told to myself, this is the kind of life that I want. And it was since that time that I joined the Quaker family. And when I joined the Quaker family, I was able to meet my husband, who was born in a Quaker family. And he has been very supportive since we got married. So I'm very thankful to be part of the Quaker family, because in our culture, it is very hard to find a man who can let his wife to go away from home from 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So my husband is very special, maybe because he understands that as a Quaker, we need to respect and to support each other as Quakers. So that is how I joined the Quaker family. Today I am, in addition to being a pastor from the Evangelical Friends Church, I am the national coordinator of the Friends Women's Association in Burundi. And also, I am the national coordinator of Quaker Peace Network Burundi. Quaker Peace Network Burundi is a network where local organizations which are using Quaker values, they meet together as a network. And our main role comes when there is elections. As Quaker Peace Network, every time that we have elections, we are involved in elections monitoring as a way to intervene. We empower young people so that they don't react in a violent way, especially those who are Quakers and those also who are not Quakers. And every time we have elections as Quaker Peace Network, we monitor the elections, and we even provide a report to the international community as Quaker Peace Network. As I was saying, I am the national coordinator of Friends Women's Association, which is supported by the African Great Lakes initiatives of the Friends Peace Teams since its birth in 2002. Friends Women's Association was born in a post-conflict period in our country after at the end of the 10-year civil war. And the Friends Women's Association was founded by women from the Evangelical Friends Church because it was after attending a workshop on trauma and HIV/AIDS. And then the Friends Women's Association started especially to care for people infected with HIV/AIDS, because in the war many people died, but the widows who remained, most of them were infected with HIV/AIDS through sexual violence, and that it was in that context that Friends Women's Association started to care for HIV positive people, especially women and their families. As Friends Women's Association, our mission is to provide a comprehensive community-based health care to women and their families, to promote women's leadership and autonomy. Today, as Friends Women's Association, we have 4 programs. We have a first program called Caring for HIV Positive People. We have a second program called Improving Women's Reproductive Health. We have a third program called Rape Survivors Support, and a fourth program called Action on Gender-Based Violence. About caring for HIV positive people, Friends Women's Association has a clinic which is called the Nhaseka Clinic, where we provide the services, medical services to people, particularly those who are infected with HIV/AIDS. And today we have a total of 321 people under ARV's treatment in our clinic. And we have an average of 213 people per month who are attending our clinic for HIV voluntary test. And today we are extending our clinic so that we can have the maternity ward as a way to prevent the transmission of HIV/AIDS from mother to child. This is what we are doing about caring for HIV positive people. And we have what we call Improving Women's Reproductive Health, where we organize outreach sessions to educate both men and women on the importance of family planning. And as a result, we have now an average of 350 people per month who are attending our clinic for family planning. And before we organized the outreach sessions, we had an average of 120 people who were attending our clinic for family planning per month. But today we have 350 people per month, and every month we have at least 100 new people who are coming for family planning in our clinic. We have a third program called the Rape Survivors Support, where we run trauma healing workshops for gender-based violence survivors. And then we provide medical care for those who are in need. And also, we encourage those women to organize themselves into self-help groups as a way to empower them economically. And today we have 52 self-help groups for more than 1,200 women. Women who are members of the self-help groups. About the action on gender-based violence, we organize workshops on gender-based violence for both men and the women, religious leaders and the community elected leaders, so that they can be involved in the gender-based violence prevention, which is rooted in our Burundian culture. These are the four programs that we have today as Friends Women's Association. And all those programs are there so that we can support both men and women, especially women who are always targeted because of gender-based violence in our country. And for us as Friends Women's Association, we have started with health. We want that women have good health and then be able to produce or to be productive for their family, to bring some financial income when they are healthy. So, thank you so much. I don't know if you have some questions about my story. Thank you for listening to me. If you have some questions for clarification, please feel welcome. Thank you so much.